All right, here we go again. It's another week of Chiropractic is Sexy. I'm Dr. Paula Ruffin.
I'm Dr. Erica Peabody. We're so happy to be here. And dude, these weeks, so fast.
Crazy. I know.
We were
We're
just
already
here.
almost halfway through the year.
Yeah, we were
Yes,
just here.
we were just
Like
here. It's
yesterday.
amazing.
No.
And
Very
what's amazing is that we are closing in. We're about 5 months, 6 months away from our 3rd year anniversary of Chiropractic is Sexy.
Amazing. Amazing. How amazing are we?
We have a background noise. Is there?
I have a train.
Is that what it is? I was going to say it sounds like a train. Okay.
I
All right.
can't
Then we're
stop
good.
the train.
Yes. There you
I
go.
wish I could.
Yeah.
It's great.
Go out there and tell them. Can you tell them?
Stop. I'm doing a podcast in my office 3 blocks away. Stop.
We need you to reroute. So I think, so getting on topic for the week, this was, Dr. Eric and I had a conversation with regards to Dr. Wilk and a lawsuit for the AMA. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but it definitely is worth bringing back up to have the understanding of what chiropractic is, what it does and doesn't do, what you think chiropractic does and what you think it doesn't do. And we're going to talk about its origins and how it evolved into what most people think is neck and back pain. And I also want to preface this by saying that I hope we have chiropractors listening to this show, because I would love for this show to inspire chiropractors, because I firmly believe that we have chiropractors in our profession that are afraid to discuss where the origins of chiropractic, how it really does benefit the body beyond neck and back pain. And so I hope that us going into this conversation today is going to inspire more people in our profession to actually see those miracles that they are providing for people on a daily basis and help to heal more people. So that's my hope for today's talk.
It's totally awesome. So not a lot of people even realize that chiropractic was not developed for pain anyway. It wasn't even, that wasn't even in the sights for D.D. Palmer, who gave the first adjustment. It was September 18th, 1895 in Davenport, Iowa, or Davenport for all the chiropractic colleges or chiropractic students that go there. They call it Davenport. But anyway, it was a guy was in a stooped, crouched position and heard a little pop noise and lost his hearing. And so the janitor at the building, or he was the janitor, and there was a magnetic healer there. And he just, I would love to know what that conversation sounded like. Like, let me do this thing. Well, what he did was he analyzed the spine. He laid him face down because he was a magnetic healer, and was like feeling along the spine, and there was like a really gross misalignment, just meaning like a sort of massive misalignment, if you could consider that. And anyway, he's like, I wonder what would happen if I, quote unquote, racked this bone back into place. And he
literally called it racked. Yeah.
And he was like, I'm sure he's like, lay down, let's give this a whirl. Like I always tell my patients, learning to adjust is a very, very interesting thing. I always say I have to have a lot of friends donate their bodies to science, and just so that we can learn how to adjust each other. And anyway, I'm just imagining like, lay down and then let me like do this thing and see what happens. And instantaneously restored his hearing, which is really wild. And then they thought that they had the cure for hearing, the cure for deafness. And so everybody flew from not flew because they were probably in, horse-drawn carriages back then, but everybody gathered to the area and lines down the street, down the sidewalks of people.
They eventually did build an airstrip.
Yeah, they did. Yes.
So, yes.
And they thought they had the cure for deafness. And of course, that never happened again. Not that probably never again, but in the lineup of people down the sidewalk, that is not what it was. So that's really where it all started. And it's the maximization of the nervous impulses from the brain to the body that we're always working with. So I use the analogy a lot. If you're using your iPhone for the text message option only, that's how using chiropractic for pain only. Like that's how small of the grand scheme of things that the adjustment and chiropractic care does. It's incredible. So just, I didn't mean to like bounce in and like come out of left field like that. But yeah, that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah. And I think that evolution as we go from how that started. Okay. So this deaf man was then healed into hearing, healed. I don't know how I'm saying, if I'm saying that. His hearing was healed. He could hear again through chiropractic. And so then it became, oh, we can cure healing. And then there were all of these other things. And I'll start with a quick story on my end. Is I've been working with this man who's got dementia. And when he first started coming to me less than 3 months ago, it was very difficult for him to speak a full sentence. He's like 70, used to be, he was involved in the community. He was very well spoken, but he couldn't speak a full sentence, and he would like kind of wince, and he'd get frustrated, and he'd just be like, and he'd wave his arms because he knew what he wanted to say, but he couldn't articulate the words. And we have been working with him between keeping him well adjusted, working on his gut, making sure he's under proper nutritional care. We're doing the low-level laser, doing all the things. And he is now speaking full sentences. So I did a video on this, and I because I really wanted people to understand that this doesn't mean that I'm walking around saying I'm curing dementia. But right. What I am doing is when you put the proper power into the human body and you remove the interference to that electrical pathway, that the body then will say, oh, we feel safe now, we can heal. But when there's toxic load in there, when there's neurological dysfunction, when there's misalignment, subluxation, the body won't feel that level of safety for healing. So that's all we're doing is putting the body in, putting the nervous system into a safe environment that it can now go, oh, we don't have to run from a tiger. We can actually heal. This is cool. We can do this. So yeah, really awesome story.
Well, yes, I was just thinking, we wouldn't call you didn't save that marriage, but I mean, in the long run, if your spouse can communicate with you, you're going to save that relationship. You're going to help that spouse have to, you know what I mean? Like that's the life part of the adjustment. It's like full life back. So that is so profound. And if you're out there listening and you just think like, okay, so this man could speak like single words or couldn't put his thoughts together and couldn't express to his wife how much he loves her and couldn't express when there's like pain or a need or desire of some sort or just a basic need. Like that's so huge. That is so huge and so profound. And it goes so far beyond neck and low back pain and headaches. And it's wild. So I wanted to circle back to a new patient this morning. So I have a new doctor in the office with me, and we're sitting and we're collaborating on care now, which has been so amazing. I can't wait for what's ahead for us. But we're sitting and we're collaborating with care. We're listening to this woman's story. She's 20, I think 5 years old, 26 probably. She's been serving at a restaurant for 9 years. She's going in and out of school. She's like ready to go back to school and like do what's next for her life. But she was talking about, so she starts with low back pain because she's got 30-pound trays. She starts with neck pain and headaches and all that. Now, all of that is legitimate. It's all legit. However, she has idiopathic cyclical vomiting that's been going on since her middle school years. She has severe gut issues. Now she's got pain everywhere. And what I told her, as soon as we got through like the history part of it, I said, here's the thing. I don't have a solution for all of that. What I do have is we're going to light your body up from the inside out and give you more bandwidth for everything that you're doing, which also includes healing and pain management. We're not doing one thing that has to do with, if this would be really cool if we could do this. Oh, you have a headache? Let's push this button right here. Oh, you have low back pain? Let's push this button right here. It's just plain not how it's done. But I know that I know that I know with proper care plan and repetition with her initial phases of care that her whole entire life is going to change. Her whole life is going to change. And there's so
And
much.
chiropractic isn't curing vomiting.
No.
No.
No, but a misalignment of the brainstem area, the top cervical vertebra, it's not something your MD is going to ever look for. But she's like, when she has idiopathic cyclical vomiting, it's every 20 minutes for about 3 weeks. And like, what? Nobody can function like that. So she only gets it about a couple times a year now. But back when it first started, it was just like completely debilitating. And so I wish this patient was under care, 15 years ago, but nonetheless, she's here. I wish everybody, I mean, every child should be starting chiropractic care within days of being born. And then of course the moms even prior to that. But I'm so excited because her getting off the table after the first adjustment is just everything starts to change. Everything starts to change. It's great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing. You're putting power back into the body.
Yeah.
And, the sad part is when we think about like how chiropractors were working with so many different people like that, like dementia, like even just, my guy his wife was about to leave him because he was in so much pain. He was just a complete a-hole.
Right.
And it saved his relationship. I mean, it's crazy. So there are chiropractors way back when who went to jail for chiropractic. There was a whole movement by the American Medical Association to put chiropractors in jail because they claimed they were practicing medicine without a license. Well, we're chiropractors, we're not medical doctors, but medical doctors wanted to put us in this box. And so chiropractors went to jail, and that we finally were able to fight through that. And there was we started to get insurance reimbursement. And so I think this is really where a lot of it changed, is that, because people mostly think now, how often have you met somebody or maybe even somebody new watching this show and they'll say, oh, thank God I've never needed a chiropractor. And what they're referring to is they've never had back pain. That's what they're referring to, which is also a lie because 80% of Americans will suffer some kind of lower back pain sometime in their life. That's just low back pain. So people will typically say, thank God I've never needed a chiropractor. But that's why most people think of us for neck and back pain. But the problem with that was that the insurance industry came in and said, okay, we'll recognize you now and we can start reimbursing you. And so what chiropractic became was the definition of what insurance companies wanted us to say in order to be able to explain it to the insurance company to justify payment, to get reimbursed. So this all became more like we took chiropractic and we took this beautiful round peg and we shoved it into the insurance square hole to make it fit so that chiropractors could get paid. And that's the only reason that we became neck and back pain doctors. And so that held for many years, and that's why it stuck. And so I just want to read a quick something about Dr. Wilk. And Dr. Wilk, this is who we talked about last year or the year before. So he actually sued the American Medical Association for the persecution of chiropractors. So also think about this. If you're getting persecuted and somebody comes along and says, well, if you do this, we won't attack you as much. So that was another part of it. But I just want to read this because I couldn't say it better than I've written it. So Dr. Wilk fought so chiropractic could exist without organized medical suppression. But winning the legal battle didn't automatically protect chiropractic's identity. The profession still had to decide, do we become easier for medicine and insurance to understand, or do we stay clear on what makes chiropractic different? So chiropractic won the right to exist, but now we have to remember why we exist. And that was the conversation that I thought would be great for us to have today.
No, it's awesome. And just to sort of summarize, so the medical association was actively, aggressively pushing our profession down. What year was that? 70 something?
70 something. Was this
Okay.
like 70?
Like late 70s, I think. And
Yeah.
so the chiropractors sued the American Medical Association for actively and aggressively pushing the profession down. And we won. You'd never hear about it. We won as chiropractors because we are not practicing medicine. We are getting people well in ways that medicine never will, never could. And so they were threatened by the chiropractic profession. And so they actively and aggressively tried to push it down and lost. So it's really, really incredible that, well, first of all, a lot of patients do enter our offices with some sort of symptom. However, what I'm really noticing now, and you're probably seeing it as well, is that people are coming in to stay well, to get well, to stay well, to get their body back to functioning really well, to get the stress out of their system. We can talk about vagal tone and all the things we've been, vagal tone is like really, really trending right now. That's been 130 years inside of our profession. So it's just really, it's fascinating that not more people are able to see inside of our walls what we get to see every day. And the reason for is because Big Pharma and the Medical Association, they have boatloads of money to keep to basically control the media and control the airways that continually tell you that you can't trust your body to do whatever it's supposed to be doing. And I sit here in my office and I'm like, an egg and a sperm came together and created this thing. Like, created this thing. There's not one human on the planet that could put something like this together out of such nothingness, such tiny, tiny cells. There's not one person out there that could create something this magnificent out of two cells coming together. And so as chiropractors, what we do the very best is we acknowledge and respect that founding, that energy that created this entire existence. And so, yes, we help with symptoms, but more than anything else, we give you life back. It's amazing. So we do so much more.
And all of that it's intangible.
Right.
So I think that's also why it's very, it's considered voodoo. It's considered woo woo or whatever else you want to, whatever ooh else you want to put onto it. Is that, we're just a bunch of witch doctors, and we probably were in a former life. Like, what's that?
Snake oil salesman.
Snake oil. Yeah. I mean, like, call us all the things. But when we are, I think that's part of the lack of understanding. It's like, okay, we don't understand gravity, but it's here, it works. We don't deny. I mean, there are gravity deniers, but that's probably a whole different podcast. But the whole idea is that as long as we don't interfere with how the body works. I mean, think about it. It's like if you eat a crap diet and then suddenly, gosh, I saw this woman at the farmer's market yesterday. And she immediately called me over and she was like, look at me. And she opened her coat and she's like, I lost 70 pounds. And I said, what'd you do? She said, well, I decided, she said, I watched my mom die. And she said, her diet was crap. Like, I've talked to her over the last several years at the market, and very, very unhealthy person. But she was like, I watched my mom die and I just made a decision that I was going to start walking. Mm-hmm. And she started walking. And she's done one 5K. She's signed up for another one. She's changed her diet. She's eliminating some things. And then she shared with me some of her snacks, which are full of artificial sweeteners, but I didn't even want to go there. I was like, good for you. You lost 70 pounds. And she didn't do it with drugs. But she's really being intentional and deliberate about making attempts to improve her health. So it's just that. It's like, the reason her body let loose of the weight was because she stopped putting things that were interfering with the body's ability to feel safe to be at a weight that was more healthy. That's it. So she did that for herself, but we're working on the nervous system and really amplifying and optimizing that overall ability for self-healing.
Well, okay. So also when the body has a lot of fat deposits on it in general, because you sort of, actually, I was listening to something. I was saying we gain, it's like 10 pounds per decade or something, just in general. I thought that was kind of interesting. And now I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But when we have fat stores on the body and you feed the body with things that aren't food, that are ultra processed or what have you, like the body says, whoa, what in the world is this? And this is very dangerous to have inside the system, inside the blood, inside the tissues. And it stores it out in fat cells because fat is protection. Fat is a place you can put toxins and keep them away from your vital organs, or a lot away, not totally, but it's a place for safety. And so it's just awesome when people start to eat real food. Like I tell my patients all the time, they're like, what am I supposed to eat? I'm like, you know what you're supposed to eat. Like, stop asking me, because
Well, you
we
also
all
know what you're not supposed to eat.
right. And so that my one simple fast hard rule is this is an egg. Like, I'm not reading the ingredients of something. I'm like, this is an egg. This is lettuce. This is a piece of chicken. This is whatever it is, right? So there's no label reading. Like, label reading got real trendy, of course, of course, of course. But we all know to read labels and make sure that you can read everything in there. But the more crap that we put in there, the more labels we're reading, the more fat storage is going to have to stay on your body to protect it. And so it should be a lot of whole foods, everything. I mean, I did a panel discussion this morning, and it was like, there was fruit there and there was some other things, but there was like muffins and cupcakes and, or muffins and donuts and some like pastries. And I'm like, I'm hungry. And I'm not going to put that in my body, mostly because I just know it's going to be just a disaster. Like, what is that? My mind's going to be like, what is that? And then the brain is affected. And quite frankly, Dr. Paula and I have, our days are so, everyone's days are full. Our days are so full, and they're very demanding of people asking us for a lot, ask us questions. They need help, they need support, they need guidance and all of that. So it's like, I also need my brain like ticking right along with really good nutrition to do that. So
Yeah, it's and that's, you know, food is fuel. Food is medicine, or it's creates sickness. We've all heard that many times. And of course, everybody knows if they want to get healthy, they have to eat better, because they know that the food that they are eating, or the food like substances, is sending signals to the body for destruction. And again, just from a chiropractic perspective, I'm just trying to bridge that gap for the, you know, people who still might be missing that link, is that everything we do is providing better signaling in the body. When you want to get healthy, you know there's things you have to do that give your body better signaling. So you're going to move better. You know you have to hydrate. You know you have to improve on your sleep. You know you have to eat better and cut out the junk. And then you have to be getting adjusted to make sure that your dysregulation that you have given your nervous system for so many years, that we can actually now start to regulate your nervous system so you can really tap into sleeping better, making sure that your body is utilizing the good fuel that you're giving it, and making sure that you can move in a way that you can move for longevity, versus just like your knees are achy or your back or your neck hurts. And I know I'm going into the pain model, but your body will function better overall. And most people, I had a new patient a few weeks ago, and she's like, oh, I've woken up every day for 20 years without pain, or with pain. And she goes, I just get up and I do it. I'm a single mom. I have a special needs son. You just do it. Mm-hmm. That is how most people are running from that tiger every single day. And they've done it for years. and it's time to get your life back.
Yep. Silly Lily, thank you for posting. So this is why Dr. Paula and I, we didn't have quite the right dates because it was decades long. So I knew it was in the 70s, but that's when the judgment actually came through in 87. A federal judge ruled the AMA engaged in illegal, decades long conspiracy to destroy the profession. It's just a really fascinating fact that a lot of people have no idea. And you know what, whatever you can call us whatever you want to. What we can tell you is what's happening in our office is pretty freaking awesome all the time. And it's actually, someone asked me this morning because I have the new doc joining me. They said, "Are you going to scale back in adjusting?" I said, "No, not at all. I mean, I'm going to work with maybe take one extra day off in a week eventually." But I'm like, no, I love what I do. I love adjusting people. And I love, you guys, we get to be people's favorite part of their week. Like, it doesn't get better than that. And we get to help people and they leave our office feeling better. I mean, I don't want to do it forever and ever and ever. Amen. But I just really, really love what we do because we are making a humongous difference. And I should get the big idea again, which is back in my office, and share it with you guys. But just the reach of one adjustment affecting everybody in that person's surrounding circle, family, work, people, community, and then the ripple effects out onto the entire planet it's really profound. It has.
Well, if we just think about the patient who said his wife was going to divorce him because he was in so much pain, he was so angry, and he did not realize he had such a short fuse. So you've gone from this angry, short fuse person to more calm, more regulated, more kind, more loving. Yeah, what the heck more ripple effect do we need in the world? And we need a lot of that today.
We need a whole lot.
I think chiropractors can save the world, really.
I think so too. And you say that tongue in cheek, but I really think it's true. And also it creates parents of children that have more bandwidth, even if it's just a little bit more, like more bandwidth for what is in front of them, more bandwidth for, because there's not like this buzz in the nervous system that's been going on for so long. We start getting adjusted. And instead of having all your windows and your computer doing this, circling the death spiral thingy, the death circle, the spinning wheel of death, that's what I call it. So instead of your computer in your body doing that, it starts to like close some windows down and can let this go. And I'm safe over here and I'm safe over here. And then while cooking dinner around screaming children, you're not ready to like level somebody. Like you just have more reason, more logic, more frontal cortex deciding abilities, more frontal cortex online. You have just it's so much more than just the pain and neck pain, low back pain, and all of the things that got us pigeonholed into where we are today, which is truly the reason why we come on here every week, is to make sure you know more.
Yeah, I have to untangle this neck and back pain.
Yeah, I had two babies and two pregnant moms in the last 2 weeks. One of them started care during probably week 20. Then she took a big gap in care for whatever reason, life. And then she came to me 2 weeks ago and said, my baby's breech. Now, if I said, I wish you would have stayed this whole time because your babe would be in a really good position. I can't guarantee that, not carrying that. But with 2 adjustments, babe descended into the right position. And now she's got 3 weeks till her due date. Babe is in really good position because the pelvis was so misaligned, not allowing babe to be in proper position. I had the same thing happen 2 weeks prior to that, same thing. This mom fortunately was in week 31. So she's landing basically going to land the plane with a really, really nicely balanced pelvis. And so babe is now in the head down, ready to go position. So It doesn't mean that we do any of that, but imagine the entrance of that human being. Again, that was one egg, one cell, created this incredible being. And now they have good positioning to head towards coming onto to Earth side. Like that changes an entire life. It also changes how the baby regulates itself once it's born. It helps with breastfeeding. It helps coming through the vaginal canal to boost your immune system, to get the microbiome started, like all the things. And so that's a different kind of life for that mom and that babe and all the toddlers running around in their life. Like everybody's better.
Mm-hmm. They were, I don't remember if I saw this in chiropractic college or where I saw this, but they showed ultrasounds of babies in utero, so fetuses or I don't remember which trimester, in utero, and it was based on certain things happening in the outer environment. So if somebody was yelling outside the womb, the baby its fists were clenched and it was like doing this, and if there was like soft music or a more regulated environment outside the womb, the baby was just kind of floating in there. And so, when you think about like babies come out fighting, it could be because mom and dad were so dysregulated that the baby's coming out ready for a fight. And that actually happens neurologically. So we have to think about, babies don't come out with neck and back pain. Well, I mean, sometimes they get a dislocated shoulder and all of that good stuff, but they don't come out necessarily with neck and back pain. What they do come out with is a completely dysregulated nervous system and misalignments that dysregulate it even more, which is why when you mentioned earlier, it is critical for new babies to make sure they get checked, make sure that their nervous systems are on point so that they can come into this life with better regulation and relate and be happier and learn better and latch and nurse and connect and all the little things that babies need to sleep. So
Poop.
So many things.
Poop.
So many, yeah. And poop. Yes, they must poop. Yeah. Yeah. So babes come out and they're constipated. So doctors put them on a anti-constipation med, or they have diarrhea. So doctors put them on anti-diarrheal, or they're spitting up. So doctors put them on freaking Prilosec, an acid, like you guys, like babies come out of the womb. And sometimes in the womb, besides all of that other dysregulation, but sometimes it's like, okay, mom, we need you to have multiple ultrasounds. We need you to have multiple injections. Here, you can take these medications during pregnancy. Like we're already starting to adulterate the nervous system in utero. And then babe comes out and it's like, oh, if this happens, we'll just give it this. And you start in a cycle of just complete and utter dis-ease, to coin a chiropractic term. And we want to put the body back into ease.
Yep. Yeah. It's, I mean, we could go on and on and on. I have the safety pin cycle. I have a big safety pin like this size. It's right in front of me. And the safety pin cycle is basically, if you think of the safety pin and it's closed, so the safety pin is actually latched, that's a functional safety pin. And that when it's unlatched, that's part of one of our principles is the safety pin cycle. So when it's unlatched, that's basically a representation of the brain and the body not communicating properly. And when you say dis-ease, like the safety pin closed and working as it should is one thing. The safety pin open is the dis-ease that you're talking about. And a patient was asking me about this whole thing, like, what is this? I'm trying to understand what this is all about. And so I took a moment and I was talking to her about it because I love teaching. And so anyway, it's like, she said, so is that disease? And I'm like, no, it's ease. And then there's dis-ease. And when dis-ease is chronic for a long time with dis-ease, then you get disease. And so just about getting adjusted and how that creates so much more ease and safety in the system. And then it had just, again, having just ripple effects everywhere and not just the pain that we're known for. And I'm, you know, in a lot of ways, I'm grateful that we at least have that inlet. Like if we were trying to talk just about the nervous system and try to work against big pharma so much that we wouldn't even get people in our doors because they never would understand us. Like I appreciate them, people starting under pain of some sort. I wish they would start way before that. And this new patient this morning, it was like, I understand all your pain. Now we're going to flip it on its head, not on its head, because it's still this going the same route, and just let you know that your body is in fight or flight. It's been there for a long time. It's been in this dis-ease cycle for a long time, and you're headed towards a lot of
what I love too about being able to, and I agree with you, I love that people will come to us for neck and back pain. That is not, we certainly don't want to discredit come to us for neck and back pain because that's all you know. Just understand that when you walk into our offices, we are going to explain things from a root cause perspective that is going to sound very unique and different from what you're used to, but you came to us because no one else has been able to help you.
Right.
And so when you take the approach that we know that is the right approach, that we know is going to get you back to optimized health and let you start to feel amazing in your life, you're like, that makes so much sense. Like how many people have sat in your office?
Everybody.
Like, oh my God, that nobody's ever explained it like that.
Right.
That makes so much sense. Which is also just going back to what I originally said about chiropractors listening to this. Do not be afraid to have these conversations with your patients. And I truly believe that chiropractors they're very afraid to talk about the nervous system for fear of persecution and being called a quack. And it's okay, you guys. It's totally okay. And if you want to have a conversation, call up me and Dr. Erica. Like we'll walk you through it. We will indoctrinate you. We will expand your mind in a way that you'll be like, why did I never talk about chiropractic like this before?
Yeah.
And so we are here to change the game, not just for consumers, but also for chiropractors.
Yeah. I had a new patient in yesterday and he got up off we sit at just a cafe table and chat about what's going on before I do anything. And it's just like kind of like sitting and just having a conversation with someone, you're just sitting at a cafe table. And he got up from that table after I explained the nervous system and the spine, even though he'd been adjusted a year ago and he was a collegiate athlete. So for a lot of years he was adjusted, and he's like, thank you for being so thorough. He's like, this has been incredible. I've learned so much. I'm like, you're welcome. Now go out there. Let's get you some good results, and you go out there and share. And, but we're really happy to get on any, phone call or what have you with whoever and light you back up. So
yeah. We're here to change the world. So I love it. I think that's a good place to end. Before we end though, Lily, I just want to say thank you because I'm imagining you sitting there behind the scenes, pulling up all of that history. And that was so helpful for you to do that. So thank you for being the information behind the scenes. I appreciate that.
And Tio Mimo, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. One day, I'm telling you, come back over and over and over, because one day we're going to show up with our tinfoil hats on and we're going to go there with you. But
I know we're having a lot of fun discussing the moon landing here in the chat. So I feel like Ken wanted to join in. I feel like he got a little jealous.
I know. We're like, we got to.
I did.
That's so great.
All right, you guys. We'll see you next week. If you're here in the U.S., have an amazing Memorial Day weekend. We appreciate you being here and supporting us each and every day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and all the fun things. And say hi to Lou.
Bye.
Hi, Lou. All right, you guys. Have an awesome week. See you soon.